one of Alabama's star receivers was in a minor car wreck, but it sounds like everything's going to be okay, thankfully.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson. That's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. That's him. This episode is brought to you by Mazda. We'll talk about Mazda in just a little bit. I want to thank you every day for joining every day because you know why? You made Locked On the #1 sports podcast network there is. That's awesome. We appreciate y'all so very much. Well, Lottie Brooks was in a bit of a, fender bender. I don't know the severity. I don't think you know the severity. If you do, tell me. But in terms of the car, in terms of where it was, but it just sounds like he was in a car wreck. Not sure if he was driving or not. He posted this cryptic, concerning picture on Instagram it had a neck brace on him, and it wasn't even his full face. So it was scary to see that. And then he's deleted that since then. But it sounds like everything's going to be okay, Jimmy, right?
Yeah, I don't know of anything. I've talked to 2 or 3 people who know a little bit, no super details, nor would the details really be important once we know that Lottie is fine. Apparently he's completely fine, as in, to my knowledge, based on people I've talked to, like spring practice starts 3 weeks from today. I'm expecting him to be out there day one, no issues. But it is scary for those who saw the Instagram post of him in his neck brace, clearly at a hospital. And a couple thoughts. Number one, I do believe this did not happen in Tuscaloosa. I think this happened either in New Jersey or en route back to Tuscaloosa, somewhere up in the Northeast. I believe it wasn't a Tuscaloosa thing. Secondly, remember the Trey Sanders situation, which now that was a different type.
I was going to bring that up.
That was horrific. And frankly, you can't say this for sure because there's no way for us to know for sure, but the overwhelming evidence is Trey Sanders was never the same player again. And that he might have had an incredibly bright future, not just at Alabama, but as a pro football player even, and just was not a great player after the accident. And gosh, so unfortunate. And then you hear Lottie Brooks, and it's just a reminder. I mean, one weekend, Ryan Williams gets engaged. Lottie's in a car accident. Got to remember, these guys, they're football players, but they live lives like everyone listening, and life happens, both good things and bad things. And thankfully, he's fine. But it's just a good reminder of how precious life is. And because, gosh, people all over the U.S., unfortunately, perishing in accidents every week. But no, this is good. This is a good result this time.
Yeah, and so, I'm sure some people are like, why even bring it up? Because it is a moment to reflect for a second. Like, we forget sometimes that these players are people too. You do sort of look at them as superheroes at times, right? Yeah. And to be honest with you, I kind of like that. I kind of like that they seem above human, above reproach, above some of the things that we go through every day. But some of them have children that they have to deal with stuff. Some of them are dealing with,
we have players on the team with kids.
Messy breakups, or they maybe an unpaid bill that comes back to haunt them. It's all this stuff that you and I and everybody else goes through. And you're so right about the car wreck aspect, because it's kind of a wonder. We haven't heard more car wrecks. First of all, thank goodness those Dodge Chargers have such a great safety record, according to Auburn people.
That's why we dole them out.
But
it's kind of funny.
We've been rolling out Volvos. That's what we should have been doing. But no, or Mazdas. Mazdas would be great. But number one, the immediate thought I had was Trey Sanders. He wasn't the same. And you and I have talked about this particular guy. I believe his last name was Brown, if I remember right. He was in a drowning accident. He was one of Gene Stallings' signees, if I remember right.
Oh,
and he was from
Dothan
or Decatur, or
he was from Ozark.
Ozark. Thank you. And
Leon Dion something.
Dion, oh gosh, I'll think of it in a minute. I'll look it
He
up.
signed with John Copeland.
Mm-hmm.
They were in the same class. They both played in the very first Alabama-Mississippi High School All-Star game, and this kid was as good at that time, as good or better than Copeland. And he was in a car accident and drowned before he got to Alabama.
Yeah, I remember that.
Deion Carroll?
McLeod.
Deion McLeod.
Yep.
And he was from Carroll High School in Ozark, Alabama. Does that sound right? Gosh, man, that was terrible. I mean, we've had other players. Player in the 80s when I wasn't even at Alabama. I think it was in high school or mid school. Willie Riles. Yeah, he died in an accident. At the same time, we had a player die. I think he was one of two players that died that summer.
In Sports Illustrated, that used to be like my Bible for sports stuff, right?
Yeah.
Way pre-internet, but it would come out every week. And they would always have a list of things for various places, like on one page, just random miscellaneous things. And every week I was hoping they'd post something about something for Alabama. I mean, I was always hoping that. The two times I remember them posting something about Alabama were for Deion McLeod and Willie Riles. And I'm like, I mean, give me something. I mean, this,
give us some good news. Those were tragic.
Good news, bro.
Tragic. So this is, you hate to say, hey, Lottie Brooks is in a wreck and he's fine. So it's good news. It's not good news to be in a wreck, but these things do turn out worse. And imagine if he'd missed time. Wide receiver is a position where I'm very excited about the top half of that group. And we added a guy this weekend that could play his way into that group, and Tyler Henderson, the JUCO kid. But you can't lose. There's 9 players on this team. I was counting up. That had nothing to do with the show. Maybe it should be a segment on the show. There are 9 players on the team, just 9, that I think are proven really good football players that have played for Alabama. Michael Carroll, Lottie Brooks, and Ryan Williams on offense. Michael Carroll, Ryan, and Lottie Brooks. And on defense, Dijon Lee, Zabian Brown, Keon Sabb, Bray Hubbard, Red Morgan, and Jan Zapier. Those are 9 returning starters from Alabama who are all really good. Now, we got more good players than that. I'm just saying those are the returning starters that have already proven to be good. You can't lose one of those 9. Not now. No,
you can't. I mean, that would be bad. It also does kind of make you wonder. And I mean, for any Georgia fans listening, don't take this too personally, but how do we hear about them going 712 miles an hour over in Athens every other week? And you don't ever hear, well, you did hear about one wreck that was pretty tragic. But
they did have they had one tragedy, but football players weren't killed.
No.
But you would think when going 100 miles an hour, they would be.
And I don't want them to be. I'm just saying, like, it's wild that it's one of those old adages that, you have a friend that is like a daredevil. He's always doing everything. He's, parkouring all over your house. And then, you're like, well, I'll give it a try. And the first thing you do is break your ankle, Or it was like that kid. I mean, think about this thing again. I don't mean to be depressing to everybody, but I'll say this. Number one, you were talking about car wrecks and how many of them there are now. Our company, Robinson Iron, restored Vulcan, the largest cast iron statue in the world, in Birmingham back in 2001, 2002. And for those who don't know, at one time when they lost his spear, he had originally had a spear that we recreated, but in between that time, he had a lantern at the top, and it would be red if there were a fatality in a car wreck, and green if all was clear. Well, if you did that today, it'd be the most depressing lantern in the history of lantern depressions, because it would be red all the time. And so just different how times have changed, how we look at things like
Totally forgot about that, but yeah, that's right.
And but then another thing, did you see the Seton Hall baseball player the other day? Did you see what happened to him?
I did. He broke his ankle rounding the bases after he hit a home run.
How innocent was that? It wasn't like,
and it was it's pretty gruesome injury.
Well,
gruesome non-contact injury.
Up and down. I jump up like that on occasion. If my daughter does something good in soccer, I jump up like that. And I mean, I'm much more, I would think, susceptible to ankle breakage. And it's so weird how these little things happen, and they just remind you, how human everybody is. And Lottie Brooks, for all, this is a Ryan Williams podcast. But if Ryan Williams weren't on the team, this might have been a Lottie podcast, right?
He's closing in. He's closing in.
He's closing in. It may have slowed down a little bit now, but hey, one step backwards and maybe 100 steps forward for him. That's what we're hoping, at least. Time to talk a little Indeed. I love saying it like that. I don't know why. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. Indeed sponsored jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for. Skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post like a sucker. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. Spend less time searching and more time interviewing. That's their thing. And listeners to this show get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about it on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply because they apply to everything. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed sponsor jobs. To the rescue. Jimmy Stein guarantee. I'm beginning to forget that occasionally, and I got to remind myself. Okay, so another thing that happened, not great. Alabama's director of recruiting operations bids adieu. And some people have maybe they've been a little bit over the top about it on social media. Like they've done that gif of Tobias Funke crying in the shower and things like that. That may be a little bit much. I think we'll be okay, but it's still a thing. I mean, familiarity can be very, very good in recruiting, as we all know.
When you recruit extremely well, and Alabama recruits extremely well. I mean, a top 5 class this past year, I'm already on record and very comfortable saying it's going to be another top 5 class in 2027. When you do that, I know all the attention goes to Kalen DeBoer and Courtney Morgan, and rightfully so, but there's an army behind the scenes that work really hard, especially on these visits, organizing the unofficial and official visits. It is a full-time job. It's a year-round thing. And I talk to people around the program all the time, and no one has said anything but great things about Kerrigan. Kerrigan Johnson is her name. She does a fantastic job. I've never talked to anyone who says otherwise. So this is a big deal, and it's not a big deal. It is a big deal because Kerrigan was really good at the job and really helpful and deserves a lot of the credit for these great classes. It's not a big deal in the sense that we're Alabama, and there's going to be an excellent replacement that's hired. I mean, I have 100% confidence that will be the case. They put a lot of time and effort into this. They will get someone who's going to be good at the job. So in that sense, it's not a disaster. But no question, Kerrigan was good at her job, and she'll be missed. In terms of why she's moving on, I don't know just yet. But I know this: there's a ton of churn in that type job. People change out all the time. As a matter of fact, it's our good buddy Travis Reier, one of my good friends in the media industry. His daughter was working in that field in a similar job. I think she's moved on to the NFL. I have another buddy whose daughter was working in a similar field. She's also moved on to the NFL. In terms of a lot of the people that work these jobs move on to NFL marketing type jobs, because they're building a resume towards that thing. So it's just kind of funny, the people that I know personally that have done the jobs have both moved to the NFL. I have no idea what's going on with Kerrigan, but there's a ton of churn in these jobs, so we shouldn't be surprised, and I have every bit of confidence that Alabama will make a good hire here.
You think we go in-house or out-of-house?
No way to know, but there would probably be options both ways. This isn't a job that you like, okay, I'm going to major in college football recruiting.
It was, you and I would have gotten our masters in something.
Yeah. So everyone's going to have a different background. Most of the people, the girls in particular, the females that work these jobs, were working for the university as students. Their student jobs, kind of intern type things where there's all sorts of students that work in the football building, and they start there and then move up. That's typical.
Well, I could certainly make a case both ways. I mean, my first thought is, okay, find who's ever doing the recruiting operations at Miami or Oregon or Ohio State and Georgia. Give them a call, and make them an offer. But my second thought is, well, you want somebody who knows and loves Alabama too, and who already knows the players you've already been talking to.
That's right.
So, I mean, I could see it going either way. And I'm like you. I trust this staff to get a good person in that role. So I'm not going to sweat that one all too terribly much. Speaking of that, this just dawned on me, so I'm springing this on Jimmy too. But he had a great tweet the other day, Jimmy did. That Jimmy right there. Internet legend, Jimmy. That's why he's an internet legend, because he has great tweets. He tweeted that, what a time to be a freshman at Alabama. Is one of the greatest freshman calendar year things where we had a great freshman in almost every sport. And you and I were talking that we're going to do some extra episodes occasionally in the afternoons, and that may be the one we focus on tonight.
The freshman
and another thing, on campus. Again, I know people love our little. We're having our production meeting right here in real time.
Right now. No, it's a good idea. It just struck me because I watch. I mean, I keep up with a lot of sports at Alabama, but I really keep up with, of course, football, men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball, softball, gymnastics. Those are my favorite sports that I really keep up with. It's just kind of weird. It just dawned on me. Every single one of those sports has really exciting freshmen all in the same school year, and I mentioned specifically from football, Dijon Lee, Michael Carroll, Lottie Brooks, all true freshmen. Clearly they're going to be big deals. But it's not unusual for Alabama to have kick-ass true freshmen on the football team. I didn't even include somebody like Keelan, who redshirted and haven't played yet, but I think we all know Keelan at some point is going to be great. But in terms of freshmen who've played, and then I singled out some freshmen, all those other sports. Lyndon Simmons, great. I shouldn't have left him out. But the other three are basically guys that I would call returning starters.
Don't give all our stuff away.
I'm not going to give it away. You'll have to come back later today for our bonus show. We'll call them bonus shows.
Yeah, I like that. And so anyway, I think that's a cool idea. And another idea I had, and I've been looking for a place that has. There is a guy out there who tweets out Alabama related birthdays for various sports, and specifically football and basketball. But I'm every time there, I want to do it like a little short every day, just wishing whoever, like let's say it's Robert Ory's birthday or something. I mean, I'd love to do a short on Robert Ory's birthday and just say a few things about him because he's a dude, and and I won't tell it right now because I'll have to save it for his birthday. That I played basketball against Robert Ory one time when he had come back to Tuscaloosa for some reason. He was an NBA rookie at the time. And he blocked my shot onto the running track at the student rec. I've never had anybody do that or before. And it was
kind of rude. It's kind of rude.
It was very rude. I mean,
to do that to a student.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Robert. I mean, I'm pulling for you, brother. What are you doing?
It's one thing to do it to Steve Kerr.
Let's talk a little FanDuel now. We all love FanDuel. You do. I mean, don't pretend like you don't. You do. Ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person? FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn that dream into reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any of the NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for two. That's right. Flights, tickets, the whole experience. If you're already looking at the board and thinking about which team can make a deep run, this is the perfect time to lock it in. I love futures this time of year. Whether it's picking a team to win the championship or grab a conference title, it adds an extra layer of excitement to every game down the stretch. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future and get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Tell them, Jimmy.
NBA?
Correctamundo. Then there's Mazda. We love Mazda. Mazda's the best. That's going to be the new car of choice.
I owned a Mazda. Loved it.
So this is Mazda's moving the game forward. For those who show there's more to the score than what's on the screen. How about Kerrigan, who just left us for the Department of Recruiting Operations, Director of Recruiting
Operations.
I had written down D of RO, and that's why I screwed it up. I forgot
Director of Recruiting Operate. It's an operation.
Forgot what the D stood for. Insert your own joke there. These remind us of what really, women like her remind us of what it takes to really raise the bar, because we recruited gangbusters. It's that extra work off the court, off the field, dialing in every detail, giving it that extra fire, that grit, that I never quit. We put that same passion in the model. Highlights make the real at Mazda. What it took to get there makes it count. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you as a person. Jimmy doesn't think so. I do. I love you. Jimmy, not so fond of you. Unbelievable. Okay,
I guarantee the other products, and that one, I'm shamed.
She didn't even like people. I don't even like people. So we're here to the next in the roster countdown. A couple of things really quickly. Basketball wise, we talked about it yesterday. Still looking good. I think they held out Tyler Bowen because really I thought we could handle South Carolina without him. If that were a tournament game, TBB would have definitely been in the game, and we still won by 14 points. So injury wise, basketball is the same stuff it's been being, but maybe we're due some injury luck on the basketball scene.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's turning around. Softball did pretty well. They had a game canceled yesterday. Baseball, we went 2-1, should have gone 3-0 against Washington State, but I looked around some of the other SEC scores. Florida lost to UAB. Auburn had to do everything they could to beat Kennesaw State 2 of the times. Now, the other time I think they beat them pretty good, but 2 of the times it took everything. One of them went to extra innings. So I think it's just typical.
Baseball works. I mean, the Dodgers are probably one of the great teams in Major League Baseball history, and they're probably going to lose to the Pirates like 4 times.
Exactly. It doesn't make
that's how it works.
That's why I can't get into baseball as much. The longevity is what kills me with it. But regardless, that's a pod for another day. But we are to a new guy on your roster countdown, and this one is a transfer from South Kakalaki.
Very interesting, very exciting guy here. I'm at 21st best player on the roster as of today. That's the opinion. Let's see where it is after spring. Could be higher, could be lower. But Desmond Umeozulu. Gosh, I practiced before I said Desmond Umeozulu from South Carolina. Pass rusher, senior. Has only got 1 year left. This is Dylan Stewart's backup when he was at South Carolina. So he's the backup to maybe the preeminent pass rusher in all of college football. Dylan Stewart, by the way, odds on favorite as far as I'm concerned to be the number 1 pick in the draft in 2027. So he's his backup. Why, if you're South Carolina, would you ever take Stewart off the field? Which is why Zulu gets a little upset over playing time and wants to leave. That's not actually why he left. The main reason he left, he was going to be Dylan Stewart's backup. He'd actually re-signed. He had re-upped his NIL deal to stay. And then South Carolina bought in Caleb Herring from Tennessee. And he's like, bye. I mean, same thing happened. I know everybody gets so excited about signing these transfer portal guys. This isn't an aside. This as relates to Zulu. Zulu left because they signed Caleb Herring from Tennessee, who's another pass rusher. And he's like, oh, okay, well, then I'll leave if you're bringing in a guy that I deem as a threat to my snaps. I'm out. So he left and went to Alabama. Alabama also got Javen James, the tackle from Mississippi State, who was a returning starter, because they just bought in Jordan Seaton for a visit. They bought in Jordan Seaton from Colorado for a visit. The moment he gets on campus, Javen James is like, this is what you think of me? I'm out. I mean, so keep that in mind whenever you're frustrated with why in Alabama bringing in more portal guys, because guys on your team see it and they can leave because they're like, that's why we only bought in 1 inside linebacker, for instance. But neither here nor there, but that's why.
And roster retention does seem to be, in the broad scope, our number 1 focus.
Yes, that's exactly right. So Umeozulu, leaves South Carolina after re-upping with them. I think his position's really interesting. A lot of people, because Alabama sort of needed a bandit, Alabama seems short on starting Bandits, so people look at him like, oh, surely he's going to start at Bandit. He's a little light for a Bandit. He's a little light. Well, maybe he can play Wolf. Alabama needs more depth at Wolf. Yes, but this isn't really a depth guy. This is a contend to start guy. I mean, he's explosive. They loved his tape. They're like, this is going to be a great fit with what we need. So this is my anticipation before the spring starts. I think Umeozulu is going to play both Bandit and Wolf. I think ultimately he probably doesn't start, but because he's a top reserve at Bandit and Wolf both, we'll see him quite a bit because he's subbing in at 2 spots. This is the way I view it, and I don't know that Kane Womack views it this way. So, Kane, if you're listening, this is my suggestion. I think the starting defensive line group might end up being Devin Tompkins at Bandit, Terrence Green at nose guard, and London Simmons at defensive tackle. That might be the starting group, and if so, I'm excited about it because they're really large. That's a huge group, and they should hold up really well against the run. But I would be concerned about them as pass rushers. So on the third downs, how about, let's say it's 3rd and 9, Umeozulu at Bandit, Jeremiah Beeman at nose guard, Edric Hill at defensive tackle. You've replaced those 3 starters with better pass rushers. They wouldn't hold up against the run quite as well as that first group, but that's a good pass rushing group. And if you got Umeozulu at Bandit on one side and Yanze Pierre at Wolf on the other side, those are your outside guys getting after the quarterback. Pretty good. So that's kind of how I view things and how I hope myself, selfishly, Kane Womack does things, that we sort of have a run group and a pass rush group.
Yeah, it'd be nice. And I really like this cat too. I think I saw some of the some of his highlights, and I'm like you, man. Quick first step, very speedy, twitchy.
Burst and twitch. Love it. Burst and twitch. By the way, played as a true freshman. He's got that, I call it a career arc. I need to find another term. But what I mean by that is a kid that clearly progresses year to year. He showed up and played as a true freshman, which is impressive. Then his sophomore year played more. And his junior year played even more. So each year he's played more and more. Now he's a senior. Now it's time to audition for the NFL. That means you got to get on the field. But again, I see him as a pass rush specialist at Bandit, sort of like they used Keon Keeley a year ago at the end of the year, sort of like that. But he might be more ideally suited for Wolf. But hey, you got Yanze Pierre and Justin Hill there, and it's not easy to find snaps.
I'm glad you brought up Keon Keeley, because I've been thinking about this, about all the guys who transferred for whatever reason. I think I'm maddest at Keon Keeley. He doesn't give 2 rips what I'm mad about, but I'm just saying, like, that's the one that just, I'm like, okay, well, go on then. That one bothers me, because it's like you stuck it out all this time, and then right when you get good, right when everybody's like, okay, we stuck with you, you stuck with us, let's make this happen. It sort of reminds me of, remember when Elaine was dating that guy that was going to medical school, and I think it might have been Bob Odenkirk. Was it him? He
was on Seinfeld.
I think it was him, and he was like, yeah, just remember the guy passed out in the diner, and they were like, what are we supposed to do? He's like, yeah, elevate the feet. I don't know, do something. She was like, aren't you studying to be a doctor? He's like, yeah. And he finally, she helped him study. He got better. He made his grades. He passed. He's going to be a doctor. And she said, this is great. I'm going to be dating a doctor. He said, no, I think we should break up, because, my dream, the dream of every doctor, is to break up with whoever you're with and find somebody better immediately.
Be a single doctor.
Yeah. So
that's what Keon Keeley has done.
Keon Keeley was studying for medical school, figuratively, and we got him passed. He's a doctor. Now come be a doctor at Alabama. He's like, I'm going to go do my doctor work at Notre Dame. See y'all.
No, it's like Alabama spent it was a 3-year project developing him into a thing. Now he's on the precipice of being a thing, and he's going to be a thing at Notre Dame. Yeah. And they're going to be like, he's probably going to be pretty good. And at Notre Dame, they're going to be like, why wasn't he playing more at Alabama?
Yeah.
Well, because you're getting a different Keon Keeley than the one that Alabama had for 3 years. And it is frustrating. This is why so many people say, stop recruiting these high school kids. All we're doing is developing them for someone else. That is true in many cases. In many cases, that's true. But it's not true in all cases. And again, I can rattle them off. But, I mean, Zabian Brown, Dijon Lee, Bray Hubbard, Red Morgan, Yanze Pierre, Justin Hill. Y'all want to get rid of those dudes? London Simmons, Lottie Brooks, Michael Carroll, Ryan Williams, Keelan Russell. Y'all want to just get rid of? Well, stop recruiting those guys. They're the best players on the team. And they're not going anywhere.
Who are still mad at Ryan. I mean, I saw the jokes. And he invited some of them where it's like, well, he's getting engaged. So, well, who has the better fingernail polish, him or his fiance? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's pretty simple stuff, right? I mean, and I get it. You got to do it. But, while you're mad at Ryan Williams for dropping passes and you're mad at him because of emotional support, whatever, stuffed animal or whatever, know this. He didn't leave. He could have left. Keegan Keeley left.
As a prospect, Ryan Williams could have signed with another school for more money than he got from Alabama. After his freshman year, he was given multiple gigantic offers to leave. He stayed. After this past season, in which Alabama fans were criticizing him vocally online, he got offers to leave for more money and did not. He should be one of the most popular players in Alabama history for that alone. Because he's gumped out to be such a talented kid. And again, I think he has a monster junior year, following the track of guys like Julio Jones and Amari Cooper, who were really impressive as freshmen, both dropped off in their year twos and then had monster junior years that catapulted them to greatness. I think Ryan's going to do the same thing, be on the same track.
Let's hope so. All right, that's going to do it for today's pod. We'll be back maybe later this afternoon with more. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.